Morning, everybody. Today is March 22nd, 2021, and we're going to be taking a look at gold, silver, the S&P 500, and Bitcoin. Going over to gold. Gold is starting to correct on the weekly. This week has been a down week since the open, and we are getting a slight bounce. Last week's close above the midpoint of the channel has suggested to me that we do have the potential to get back to this yellow line. I am not taking that off the table yet. However, I am still expecting a pullback into setup trend or to this box. I think whichever comes first. We may get caught here and wick down into this box, and I'm not taking that off the table until I see the break on a closing basis on the weekly of this yellow line. Going over to silver. Silver is having a very rough day. Very rough day. Now, I was expecting a pullback again. The question is, did it wick below this previous low? This low was at 25,391. This was at 25,411. You're still good. As long as you don't go below that 25,391, I think you're okay. Now, closing down here makes it dangerous and does put up the does increase the odds that we are going to break this green line and go back down and retest this $22 area. However, looking at the larger picture on the RSI is in a bottoming position and it needs to hold here. If it doesn't and it breaks down again, I am expecting a move all the way into the oversold position. Going over to the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is looking really good. A little bit more consolidation. Today's numbers are looking great. That's probably why the precious metals are starting to go down, is because everything's flooding into the stock market. And I don't have anything else to say on the S&P 500. I'm just a bull. I'm going to be a bull probably for a long time in the stock market because it's decoupled from any one country's performance. All right, going over to Bitcoin. This is the weekly chart of Bitcoin. We unfortunately closed below this green line, and we have reset the count on the DeMark system. Now, what is the percentage of how far off we were? And this is why I don't mechanically trade the DeMark system. We were less than 0.5% away from being correct, from being in a 7 print on this candle. Now, the lower level time frame is going to tell us more. However, I'm not too concerned because that's within the margin of error for me. And I think we could have more consolidation. And just to note, this is the third highest weekly close in the history of Bitcoin, and it's excessively bullish. So I am expecting this week's candle to push us back to the upside, and I'm actually going to still treat this candle as a potential 8. I am not going to suggest that this is a brand new count yet. Now, if I see a 4 candle count on this going above the 3, then I will consider this a brand new count to the upside with another potential 9 incoming. Going over to the daily. Now, the daily held this trend line. That was the most important thing for me. This 2 candle, however, looks like it's trying to close below it. I want this 2 candles body to close above this trend line. As long as we do that, I am considering last week's close an 8. Regardless of the fact that it says a red 1. I'm considering that the 8, and I'm considering that the 7, and I'm considering this week the 8. And this 2 candle right here is going to tell me if this is the weekly 8 is how to interpret that candle, or is this a new phase we're starting and we need more consolidation in this area. The RSI is flat. Has been trending down, but is not diverging. And the MACD is positive, but flattening, and looks like it's starting to turn over and may cross over to the downside. I am neutral bearish right now because of where we're at trading-wise on this trend. If we close below this trend, I'm expecting an acceleration down to this 30-period moving average as a back test, followed by another retest of this trend line as resistance. Oh, my bad. Going over to the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour, we are still in this symmetric triangle. I made one final adjustment to it. I didn't like how this looked. However, the 4-hour is giving us a good picture, and that is that we have really strong support on this bottom trend. What do I need to see here? Well, this 4-hour candle right here is not looking great, and we only have 4 minutes left in the close. The only good news is that we still have closed inside of the triangle. But we are going to be closing below the 7-period moving average, the 30-period moving average. And the 7 and the 30 are starting to curve to the downside, and that's going to depress the price. The good news, and a lot of people may not see it this way, the really good news is that on the 4-hour, this 128-period moving average is catching up quick. And we are basically 12 hours away from being really close. Let me see, how many candles is this going to be? Let me just draw this. We'll take a vertical extension right there and just say that's the trend. So let's take a look and make sure that we have the correct number of bars. So less than 2 days, we're going to have this 128-period moving average be sitting right at the low of this candle. That's really, really good news. That's really, really good news, because that means that support is going to be strong in this area. And if we do break down on this triangle, we may get caught by here and have a retest of the bottom of this triangle, which would allow us to exit our positions. All right, that's about everything I have to say for today. Have a wonderful Monday, and I will talk to you tomorrow.